Walk with me for a few minutes. So I want to talk about possibility. Have you ever been in a place where you experienced something, saw something, were a part of something, and were just totally taken back, like complete shock and awe on what just happened? Or maybe you've been in a place where like you really believed something, you really thought something was possible, and you just felt like limitations were being put on you, around you. Or maybe you were in a place where you felt something, you knew something, people around you thought it never could be. You pushed through, and you had one of those personal told you so moments to expand that paradigm. You see, at any given time, we're in a place where we're either expanding our paradigm of what's possible or restricting it. And I want to talk today about how we can expand that paradigm. 4 specific actions that I've found have always helped in expanding the paradigm of what's possible for us and those around us. It's going to be a good one. Want your input. But first, who's with me this morning? Who's out there? Say hello. Only way I know you're there is if you say hello. Give me a high five. Good morning, sunshine. Where you from? Want to say hello back. No making fun of the get up today. Some of you guys are like, Blake, what are you wearing right now? I know, I've got my weighted vest on. I'm upping it up in my challenge, adding some weight. And I couldn't find any, dark bandanas. Karis bought all these like vibrant color face masks. So I'm stuck with like pink this morning. Would love to say hello back. Thank you guys for walking with me. Love our time together. For those of you that haven't plugged in, I see you. And enjoying all of the feedback. If you're new to our conversations, welcome. Hello. This is a conversation, not a monologue, meaning I want your participation, feedback, perspective, not just for me to you or you to me, but for everybody who's a part of the thread and chat. We got some bunnies out this morning. See little bunnies? Springtime is near. And let's dive into this concept of possibility. Possibility is one of my favorite things to talk about, and my favorite things to think about. What's possible, the very nature of the conversation. There's something inspiring, there's something empowering, there's something positive, there's something progressive about possibility. And I don't know about you, if I kind of look back real quick at kind of the ups and downs of my life, the peaks, the valleys, the highs, the lows, the victories, the defeats, the roller coaster, right, of our lives. I found there's periods of time where I was growing. And the times where I was growing the most, in a growth mode, and that could be any level, that could be growing the most career-wise or success, quote-unquote wise, or financially, or also just growing in times of maybe health, maybe it be relationship, maybe it be just personal growth, mindset, a growth period. You guys know what I'm talking about. The times I was in and have been in my best growth periods, one common pattern is during those times I was expanding my paradigm of what's possible for me and around me. And if I were to look back at the times where I just wasn't growing either at all or at the same pace at any of those levels, and there's been plenty of times where not only wasn't I growing, I felt stagnant. Sometimes, right, we feel like we're going backwards. How many of you guys can relate? I've gone backwards financially. I've had years in between of massive steps back in business, career, finances, health, right? Which sounds funny. I've been in the nutrition space for, 15 years, right? Creator of the challenge. And let's be honest, I'm never always on. There's been times where my health's going the right direction. There's been times when my health is going the wrong direction. Mindset kind of follows a lot of that. How many of you guys have had times where you've been in a growth phase or, been in a non-growth phase? I think all of us have been there. What phase are you in right now? Would you say, are we in a growth phase? Or are we looking to get back in that growth phase? But I'd say the times I've been in a growth phase is because my paradigm of what was possible was expanding. And times where I wasn't in a growth phase, it's because my paradigm of what was possible was retracting. And I want to talk about those two sides of the sword, those two sides of the coin, and maybe some things, 4 thoughts specifically, that I would say help put us into a paradigm of possibility, expanding what's possible for us, therefore expanding what's possible around us and through us. So 4 thoughts. Number 1, to expand the paradigm of what's possible, we have to believe anything is possible. Everything starts with a belief. Everything starts with a principle. You can't jump to a tactic or a how-to or a step without first, in my opinion, solidifying the bedrock of the belief system it's built on. You have to believe anything's possible. And if we really just look, open our eyes, open our minds, it's pretty easy to believe that anything is possible in the day and age we live. You know, I think about all you have to do is go out late tonight. You ever want to just reopen your mind to anything is possible? Just go out late tonight when it's dark and stare up at the sky. It's crazy right now here in LA. Like, you can actually see stars. Clear skies, no smog. Mother Nature is smiling. A nice benefit of the forced pause we're in. And the stars have just been so clear. North Star shining bright every day. Been able to see the Big Dipper every night. See Mars most nights. But if you stay and lay down and stare up above, it's really easy to believe anything's possible, because all of a sudden you realize, like, wow, I'm this person sitting on this planet in the middle of rotating itself while it's spinning around this giant fireball we call a sun, in the middle of some galaxy, in the middle of some universe. And you just stop and realize where you're standing right now. You're like, anything's possible. Anything's possible. You guys, our lives are shaped by people that believe that. Like, I couldn't imagine, being, the Wright brothers or some of the people in early innovation, or early aviation, like just staring at the air, like, I think I can fly through this. Like, what? Or the group of kind of the first, astronaut space travelers, like staring at the moon at night and saying, I want to go walk on that. Like, I want to figure out how to get into a giant rocket, fly across space and just chill on the moon. Like, what? And you guys, it's not even past stuff. Like, what's happening today and now, I still trip out every time I drive, my Tesla. We got the Model X, the family mobile. It's the happy medium because Karis wanted a minivan. I'm like, no minivans in our house. No offense if you have a minivan. Just not a fan of minivans. Karis is. I'm like, we're doing a Tesla Model X. I still trip out every time I put that thing on auto drive. And the car drives by itself. Like, literally drives by itself. Makes parallel parking amazing. Just hit a button, let go. We have cars that drive by themselves. Like, that's crazy. Or the fact that right now you're holding a device in your hand, watching a streaming live video. We're together even though we're far apart. Like, how is that even possible? Like, what? Having a conversation through some device in our hand that somehow goes through the air to somewhere, to something all around the world live. at the same time to something in your hand? Like, what? Guys, there's so much around us to instill the belief that anything is possible. Yet, there's still people that fall into the two categories. There's people that believe that anything is possible, and there's people that gravitate to nothing is possible. You see them every day in conversations and perspectives and actions. There's a famous quote that says, either you believe everything's a miracle or nothing's a miracle. So you got to start with that belief that anything really is possible. If you don't believe anything is possible, you're not going to take the other steps. So if you guys out there are willing to adopt the belief by just looking around and being grateful and appreciating the absolutely ridiculously amazing things that we're able to do every day, that at one time most of the world would have put into a bucket of impossible, that today are our daily lives, things we don't even think about and take for granted. And if that's true of everything in our past that we have today, isn't that true of everything in our present and everything in our future? You guys see, it takes a group of individuals that are willing to believe anything's possible to expand the paradigm of what is possible. If you're willing to have that belief, adopt that belief, take that belief as your own, give me an "it's possible" in the comments below, all caps, it's possible. So number one starts with the belief anything's possible. Number two, after we believe that anything is possible. Morning.
Morning.
Try another way. Try another way. In my experience, there is always another way. No matter what somebody tells you, no matter what those around you think, no matter what you read or what you hear, I don't care if it's your mom or your boss or your best friend that says otherwise, there is always another way. I've never been in a situation where one stream of thought, one option, was the only option. There's always another way. And you gotta be willing to try another way. You can't get fixed in your path, fixed in your mindset, fixed in your direction, fixed in your decision, even if you thought it was a good one. You can't get fixed because that may not be the path that gets to where you want to go. That may not be the path that goes the furthest, the fastest. You got to be willing to try another way. You got to be willing to adapt, be flexible, consider an alternative. You got to be willing to try another way. Because this was hard for me in my life, and a hard lesson, because naturally I tend to be a believer in people. So naturally, I tend to just believe their perspective. And like early in my career, when I decided not to follow the quote unquote traditional path, the path I was supposed to go down, and make that shift early in my life from, building the resume to be a lawyer, which is the path I was on, to jumping into entrepreneurship and one of those things in a home-based business. Man, I had everything around me saying and telling and pointing that now I had to stay on the traditional path. But I wanted to try another way. I didn't know the way would work. Everybody around me said that it wouldn't. Everything I learned, right, said that I shouldn't. But there was something in me that said, I won't know unless I try another way. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But I won't know any of that unless I try. And I had to make the shift to take my desire, my curiosity, to answer my own question instead of be limited or restricted by those around me. And you guys, that was early, and that was an important one. But I've had to do that increasingly throughout my career, even as like an executive, being a young executive, leading a large company. I mean, being someone that, guys, I didn't have any work experience, never had job experience. I didn't go to school for business. I found myself, at one point as a leader of a, $1 billion plus public company, dealing with corporate bureaucracy, Wall Street analysts, leaders in different languages and cultures all over the world, internal teams, external teams, overseeing divisions, all of which I'd never had any experience. Because early in my career, I would take things at face value from the people around me that had, quote unquote, more experience without asking critical questions, without challenging a thought process, without committing to always trying another way. And I would just agree, okay, that makes sense. You're the expert, that's what you say. And you guys, I'll tell you, that perspective hurt me and hurt a lot of the initiatives that I was a part of, because we got stuck in a fixed way of thinking of people always saying, well, that's not possible. And me as a leader or other leaders saying, well, it must not be possible. Well, it can't work that way. Well, it must not be able to work that way. Well, now it doesn't work like that. Well, it must not work like that. You guys, one of the big shifts that changed a lot for me and the organizations I've had the privilege of being a part of, helping lead, is constantly believing that we can try another way. There's always another way. Don't tell me there's only one way. There's always another way. And you got to be willing to continue to stick to that, try another way, be flexible, be adaptable. And when you try another way, if it gets the result, you found a way. If it doesn't get result, try another way. Repeat the process, because there's always another way to try. And don't let anybody, no matter who they are, what resume they have, what background, all right, what authority, what role, what title, don't let anybody ever convince you that there's only one way. Because in my life, in a lot of crazy scenarios, I have never found, when I'm willing to look and persist and insist on trying another way, I've never found there not to be one. So try another way. Believe anything's possible. Try another way. Number 3, value others' perspective. This is important. You see, no matter who we are or how much we think we know or how much we love to learn or how good we think our ideas are, you guys, our perspective individually is always limited, because by definition, it's our perspective. The value of a team, the value of others, comes from different perspective, diverse perspectives. And you got to be willing to value the perspectives and the different perspectives of others. Now, this doesn't mean surround yourself with people that agree with what you say. I always say, if you have a bunch of people in the room that all think the same way and say the same thing, all of them but one are unneeded. The point is diversity, right? The point is perspective. The point is collective experience. The point is different vantage points. That's the point. That's the strength. The strength in numbers is the diversity in the perspective and the diversity in the gift and the talent. So you guys got to be willing and open to value the perspective of others, seek counsel, and to get more strategic, try to surround yourself with people that have diverse talents and gifts. You guys see, some people have gifts in different things. We all have gifts in different things. Beautiful day today, huh? You're at the top. If you're quiet, you can hear the birds. So try to find people that have a curiosity. Find people that have a creativity. Find people that have a strategic way of thinking, right? Find creatives, creators. These individuals have the innate natural gift to see alternative ways, right? And sometimes if we're limited, right, the best way to become unlimited, the best way to get out of a restrictive, right, environment and get into an expanding environment is to surround ourselves with people that can bring alternative perspectives, have creativity, curiosity, ingenuity, right? Strategic perspective. And if you surround yourself with a couple of those individuals, you're going to be able to find that other way and also grow your belief in what's possible. So value the perspective of others and seek counsel of those different than yourself, and be willing to not only let them talk, but hear them talk, and then apply the perspective into another way until you find the result. Believe anything's possible. Try another way. Value others' perspective. And last one I'll give you here, number 4, don't stop until. Don't stop until. Don't stop until what, Blake? Don't stop until you move forward. Don't stop until the another way works. Don't stop until you start to grow. Don't stop until what's possible starts to become more clear. Don't stop until. Until what? Until you go where you want to go, get where you want to get, do what you want to do, create what you want to create, start what you want to start, grow what you want to grow, finish what you want to finish. Continue to iterate, continue to adapt, continue to try a different way, continue to be flexible, right? Continue to give the attempt. And you guys, when we all start, let's be honest, what's possible is fuzzy. But it doesn't have to be clear. We don't have to see the top of the staircase. We just have to be willing to take the first step. We have to be willing to believe that it's there and believe that it's possible and believe we can grow. But we don't have to have certainty or clarity into exactly how we're going to get there and exactly when we're going to get there. We just have to have a belief that it's possible, be willing to try another way until we move forward, value the perspective of others to get us there faster, and don't stop until. So you guys, those are just 4 thoughts that I've found as common themes kind of in my life, in my growth phases, that constantly expand a paradigm of what's possible for me and around me. And when we fall into the inverse or the opposite of each of those, we find ourselves usually in a time of stagnant, non-growth, unfulfillment, because what is possible is being restricted, limited, retracted. And I think we're in a time right now where we need people to expand what's possible. Anything's possible. We're in new times, new challenges, which bring new opportunity and a new need for innovation and a new need for people to expand the paradigm of what's possible for all of us now and what's going to be possible for all of us in the new normal ahead of us, whenever that is, wherever that is, whatever that is. And who says that you can't be a key part of that? So let me know, guys, if those 4 things help you. Which one of the 4 that I just gave do you believe you need to work on most right now? Is it building the belief that anything's possible? If so, comment below. Is it committing to try another way, try another way, try another way, try another way, and not take no for an answer or limiting belief for an answer? If so, comment below. Is it maybe getting out of our own way and seeking the counsel of others, valuing the perspective of others? If so, comment below. Or do you feel like you got all of those down and it's just a matter of go, go, go until? Give me a comment below. Guys, if there's anybody on your mind or your heart that you feel will value this message, you feel needs to expand their paradigm, tag them in the comments. Or maybe they have a paradigm of what's possible. They'd be a great contributor to the conversation. Tag them in the below. It's an amazing gift, an easy way to share. And hey, if you got a lot of value from it, click share on the post above and feel free to share it with your friends and your community, because I think right now everybody, no matter who they are or where they are in their life, needs to have an expanding paradigm of what's possible for them and through them. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane. I'm gonna head back to the house. Thanks for walking with me.